Hey everyone, welcome to our LakePoint Kids online family experience. I'm Ms. Rachel and I'm so glad you are here today. You may have noticed there's a piece of paper and a pencil on your desk. Well, that's because in just a few short moments, you will be creating a masterpiece. Trust me. Now, if you're watching this at home, press pause and go grab some paper and a pencil. All right, now I'm not going to tell you what you're going to draw, except that it's going to be great. All you need to do is follow the step-by-step instructions and you'll see your work of art unfold.
Mystery drawing number 5 is a story of a man walking alone in the woods. So you're going to draw a circle for his head and just a little stick for his body. And he's got his legs curved. He's facing the other way so we don't see his arms. And he was out walking in the woods all alone. It started to rain, and he could see the raindrops. And they were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 raindrops on this side of him. And he could see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the other side of him as well. Try that on your paper. It rained so much that the rain created a lake. So we're going to draw a circle around him. Now the rain started to slow. And it's early in the morning and the sun starts to come up. So we can start to see the sun coming up. And as the sun starts to come up, he realizes that there are 2 big mountains in the distance that he couldn't see before. And inside those mountains, there are dark caves. Now the rain picks up again, and the rain starts coming down the mountain and creating big puddles. And through the rain, he sees a dog, and that dog becomes his friend, and he names the dog Rain. Feel free to add bows and collars and details to your pup.
Wow, was that not amazing? You started out thinking you were drawing a man walking in the rain, but now you realize what you actually have is an adorable little dog. We've been talking about trust this month, and I think this activity actually provides us a great example of what trusting God can be like. But first, let's review. What is trust again? Well, trust is putting your confidence in someone you can depend on. I'll count to 3 and then we'll say it together. 1, 2, 3. Trust is putting your confidence in someone you can depend on. Now in this case, we're talking about our confidence in God. See, sometimes in life we just don't understand what's going on. Things aren't turning out as we thought they should, and we're wondering, well, does God even see any of this? And does He care? What's He doing? Yes, friends, God sees, He knows, and He cares, and we can trust that He has a plan. It might not look what we think is best, but because we know that God is good, we can trust Him to do what He thinks is best. Now, think about our drawing again. At the beginning, and even throughout the middle of it, you probably weren't able to guess that what you actually were drawing was a dog. Sometimes in the middle of life, we can't tell what God is doing, but later on, be it on earth or one day in heaven, we'll understand. The Bible talks about understanding, how we shouldn't depend on what we always think, but instead trust God. Check out what our verse of the month has to say. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not depend on your own understanding. Proverbs 3, verse 5, nerve. And I'm trusting that we can memorize this verse no problem. So let's everyone stand up to our feet and practice saying the verse as we march on the spot. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not depend on your own understanding. Proverbs 3, verse 5, nerve. Nice job. All right, now this time, let's say our verse while running on the spot. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Do not depend on your own understanding. Proverbs 3, verse 5, nerve. Great work. You guys can grab a seat. So trust. What is it again? Well, trust is putting your confidence in someone you can depend on. And our bottom line or our focus point of today is you can trust that God has a plan. Let's say it together. 1, 2, 3. You can trust that God has a plan. And not just a plan, but a good plan. So with that in mind, let's plan to watch the So-and-So Show.
Oh, hello. I'm John, and welcome back to The Joy of Art. Today we're going to take something beautiful, something perfect, something delicious, a real work of art, the circus peanut, and use it to create a whole new piece of art. Let's give it a try, shall we? Just look at these happy little circus peanuts. They're all saying, "Hey, come to the circus. It's an amazing place. There's a person here who can wrestle squirrels and another who can shoot fire out their ears." Isn't that wonderful? Now what we're going to do is just get them a little sticky. Just like that. Isn't that nice? It tastes like delicious fake orange. Yummy. Once it's sticky, place it anywhere on the canvas. Let the circus peanut tell you where it wants to go. Happy. There we go. Oh, perfect. Just like that. Now continue the process. This is going to be fun. Circus peanut. Oh, okay. I hear you, circus peanut friends. They're telling me my art is done and they're ready to be seen. Why don't we take a look at what we've created? Oh, I think I'll call this piece Sad Clown at the Circus. Because doesn't he look like a happy little sad clown? I love it when the art comes to life like that. Welcome to the So-and-So Show!
I'm Brandon, that's John, and we are excited about today's show.
Well, as always, except that today is something special.
Yeah.
Today we get to announce something we've been working on for years.
Yeah, months even. You see, John and I have a little pet project.
Yeah, but that pet project has grown into a full-size St. Bernard, and we can no longer keep it hidden inside his little crate. It's time for it to be set free!
With up-to-date shots, a license, and a proper leash, of course.
Of course. Shall I tell them?
Oh yeah, be my guest.
Okay, so you may have noticed Brandon and I are wearing these amazing and handsome-looking turtlenecks. That's because, drumroll, our very first musical, Warm Necks, the history of the turtleneck, is finally getting produced!
You heard him right. John and I have been working tirelessly on bringing the amazing and fascinating history of the turtleneck to musical life.
Yeah, let's give them a little taste.
Oh, you think so?
I
All right.
It started in the Dark Ages when knights suffered severe chafing while wearing chainmail.
As a result, a garment that could protect the neck and torso from rough and heavy metal was born.
It's the Dark Age life for us.
It's the Dark Age life for us.
Instead of cheering, we get chafed.
Instead of knighthood, we're disgraced. It's the Dark Age life.
In the 1700s, the turtleneck switched from being a status symbol to something more practical and worn in the winter.
Let it snow, let it snow. This turtleneck can grow. Then, in the 1800s, the fashion moved into the sports world, where the first football uniforms were not V-necks, but the illustrious turtleneck.
We don't talk about V-necks, necks. We don't talk about V-necks. In the 1950s, the fashion world was trying to get rid of the outdated turtleneck. But the hero of our story, Finn Maurice Bandana, an artist born in South Detroit, with nothing but a cold neck and a dream, kept the turtleneck alive.
I am not throwing away my shirt. I am not throwing away my shirt. Even though it may look silly, keeps my neck from being chilly.
And I'm not throwing away my shirt. Anyway, that was just a taste, an amuse-bouche, if you will. A warm next to the history of the turtleneck. Ooh, boy. It's a heartbreaking yet hilarious tale of the endearing garment and the people who wore it.
And it's going to be coming to an off-Broadway theater, not near or possibly near you.
Yeah.
Is that you?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay.
That's right. It's the producer. Ooh. Okay. Yellow, it's John. Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh, great. That sounds good. We'll do that. We'll see ya.
What did he say?
He just called to say he's not producing the musical. But on a positive note.
There's a positive note?
He said he was sure there was someone out there who could possibly like it. Somewhere.
Great.
Yeah. That's the last time we try something like that.
It's Bible story time with Kellen.
Hey guys! Man, it was tough to hear about your turtleneck musical. I really thought you had something there.
Yeah, we did too.
Yeah, pretty disappointed. Thanks for bringing it up again.
You got a story for us?
I do, and maybe it will help.
The story before the story.
Today, we're in the very first book of the Old Testament, Genesis. God's amazing world was broken by sin.
But God chose Abraham and his wife Sarah and promised to bless the whole world through their family.
And after waiting for a long time, Abraham and Sarah had a baby named Isaac.
When Isaac grew up, he had twin boys, Jacob and Esau, who didn't exactly get along. And that's where our story starts.
Hey, we're ready.
Hey everybody, I'm Brian.
Hi, Brian. We want to hear what's up with Jacob and Esau.
Oh boy. Okay, these guys had it in for each other from the start. They wrestled while they were babies inside their mom. I mean, when Esau came out first, Jacob was holding onto his heel.
And they were like super different, right?
Oh yeah. Esau was really hairy while Jacob was smooth-skinned. And as they grew up, Esau loved to hunt while Jacob preferred to stay close to home. Now, Esau was the older brother by just a few minutes. This meant he had special rights to money and property and even leading the family one day. But he was such a hothead, he didn't always stop to think. Now, one day Esau was out hunting and didn't get anything. And by the time he got home, he was super hungry. Jacob had just cooked up a pot of delicious red stew, and Esau begged him for some.
Sell me your rights as the oldest.
Fine. I'll die if I don't get something to eat.
Esau threw away something really valuable for a bowl of soup. I bet he regretted that big time once his stomach was full. And things did not get any better between the brothers. Their father Isaac was very old, and he wanted to pass on a special blessing to his oldest son. So he sent Esau to go hunt and prepare him a tasty meal first. Now, this is where things get squirrely because Isaac's wife, Rebecca, overheard. And while parents are not supposed to have a favorite kid, Jacob was definitely Rebecca's fave. Rebecca came up with a crazy plan.
Your father sent Esau to hunt wild game and prepare a meal so your father can bless him. Hunting will take Esau all day, so I want you to choose 2 goats from the flock. I'll cook them up, and you can pretend to be Esau and take the blessing. Your father's eyesight is so bad, he won't know.
But what if he touches me? My skin isn't hairy like Esau's.
We'll cover your arms and hands with goat skin.
Cool.
Pretty wild, right? But Jacob did just what Rebekah told him. And sure enough, Isaac gave his blessing to Jacob. At last, Esau showed up.
If you're Esau who just brought me a meal, I gave him my blessing.
It wasn't me.
Then your brother tricked me.
First he took my rights as the oldest. Now he's taken my blessing. Dad's gonna be gone soon. Then I'll be in charge, and I'll get rid of Jacob.
Jacob had won birthrights and a blessing all by being sneaky. But he had made an enemy of his older brother. Rebekah wanted to keep her favorite son safe.
Esau is going to try to get rid of you, so I want you to run away to my brother Laban in Haran.
But I don't know him. I've never been away from home.
Just do it. Stay with him until Esau cools down.
Okay.
Okay, imagine you're Jacob. You got what you wanted, but it's backfired. You've got to leave home and everything you know. It's a pretty scary place to be. Jacob set off through the wilderness with nothing but his own thoughts.
What's gonna happen to me?
By nighttime, Jacob arrived at
The middle of nowhere.
With no place to stay, Jacob curled up on the hard ground with nothing but a stone for a pillow.
Neck crick.
But as Jacob slept, the most incredible thing happened. He saw a vision from God. In the vision, a broad stairway reached from the earth all the way up into heaven. Shining angels climbed up and down in a parade that dazzled Jacob's eyes. And most amazing of all, the Lord stood beside the staircase. Now, if you are Jacob, you may not be sure what God thinks of you. I mean, God has promised to bless the whole world through your family, but you've done some pretty sneaky things along the way. God might decide to go back on that promise. Then, the Lord spoke to Jacob.
I am the Lord. I am the God of Abraham and Isaac. I will give you and your children the land you are lying on. They will be like the dust of the earth that can't be counted. All nations on earth will be blessed because of you. I am with you. I will watch over you everywhere you go. I will not leave you until I have done what I have promised.
The light faded, the vision disappeared, and Jacob woke up.
The Lord is surely in this place.
Early the next morning, Jacob took the stone he had used as a pillow and set it up as an altar for God.
May God be with me and do as he has promised. Then you, Lord, will be my God.
Then Jacob continued on his journey to Haran, and that's the end for now.
What'd you guys think?
Well, I love that Jacob wasn't even close to being perfect, and yet he was still part of God's big plan.
I think it's great just to be reminded that there is a plan.
Yep, because you're going to have disappointments and bad days. It's going to happen. But what we can trust is that God has an ultimate plan to make things right in the world, and that hasn't and won't change.
Good to know. Thanks, Kellen.
You bet. I'll see you guys next time.
You know, I am disappointed about the musical, but I'm not going to give up.
Yeah. We've only tried one producer
Yeah.
and one musical. We've got way more ideas in us. We could write a musical about tube socks.
Yeah, or jorts.
Or some non-clothing item, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, but the important thing to remember is that God has always had a plan, so we can put our trust in God.
Right on.
So,
yeah.
Reveal the question. Why are plans important?
Well, if you're planning for a trip, it helps to know where you're going, how to pack, what snacks to take.
Or when you're planning to build something, it's great to know what tools you'll need and the order to put things together.
When someone has a plan, it's easier to trust them because they've put thought into where they're going and what they're doing.
So talk about it with each other. Why are plans important? And we'll see you next week for a brand new show.
See ya.
They are short.
I think we can all agree that Jacob made some pretty lousy choices, but God was still with him. God still had a plan to bless the whole world, and Jacob was a part of that plan, as we see hundreds of years later when Jesus was born into Jacob's family line. So what does that mean for us? Well, just like Jacob, God loves us no matter what, and we can still be a part of God's plan, even though we aren't perfect and do wrong things at times. See, God isn't looking for perfect people. He's looking for people who ask Jesus to forgive them of the wrong things they've done, and people to have a relationship with God. So when you do that, you get to be a part of God's plan to help show His love to the world. Wow, a God who loves us no matter what, forgives us of all the wrong things we've done, and includes us in His plan sounds to me like a God we can trust. We don't know what the future will look like, but we do know that God knows, and He has a plan where everything will get made right in the end. It's time to bring it home now with our small group time, so along with your parent, listen to today's instructions. First, see if you and your family can think back to a time where your plan did not work out. But looking back now, you see God's plan throughout it all. How do you think realizing that will help your perspective next time around something doesn't go as planned? Now press pause, complete the activity, and then come back for the second set of instructions. Next, I want you to work some more on your dog picture. Color it in, decorate it, and somewhere on it, write out our bottom line. You can trust that God has a plan. Then display your work of art someplace in your house. Parents, now's the time to either scan the QR code on the screen or head over to the LakePoint app to fill out our online connection card. Signing our guest book lets us know who is watching and helps us stay connected to you. It also allows you to sign up for our latest LakePoint initiatives and opportunities. So kids, while your parents are busy doing that, why don't you go and see how many karate kicks you can do in 60 seconds? Just a reminder that you can go back and watch your favorite LakePoint Kids online family experiences on our YouTube channel or on our LakePoint app in the Family Resources section. Thanks for tuning in today, friends. I'll see you again next week. Same time, same place. Remember, you can trust that God has a plan.